Today we're going to learn how to apply a simple decal to personalize your items. It's a fun and easy way to add some flair to anything from water bottles to laptops. Before you create your decal, you're going to need to know what dimensions you have to work with. So I'm going to start by measuring my tumbler, and it looks to be about 7 inches. So I want to leave about a ½ inch on either side. So I'm going to make my decal 6 inches wide. I am using Sure Cuts A Lot 5 Pro to create my design. I simply created a text box, chose the font Nuridea, and set the dimensions to 6 inches wide, which gave me a height of 3.467 inches. I'm going to select the Style panel and choose Shadow from the Style drop-down box. This thickens up the font and gives a larger area of adhesive to stick to the tumbler. Then I have adjusted it to a 0.030 shadow. Next, I selected the weld option to make sure my letters connect instead of cut out individually. And then I'm going to preview to make sure that the weld feature is active. Next, we're going to send it to the cutter. Make sure your settings are correct and then click Cut. I am using an MH721 MK2 cutter with a cutting width of 24 inches. But you can use a Cricut, Silhouette, whatever cutting machine you have. And we're finished. To remove your vinyl from the mat, simply flip it over and gently bend the mat away from the vinyl. If you bend it too far, it will crack, so make sure to be gentle. This will prevent your decal from curling. I'm noticing that my text cut higher on the vinyl than I intended. The reason for this is I did not confirm that my cut mode was set to origin point. Instead, it was set at WYSIWYG, meaning what you see is what you get. When WYSIWYG is set, your design will cut exactly where it is shown on the area of your mat. This setting is great if you're using a piece of material that has already been cut from, but it was not my intention for this project. Now we're going to cut out our decal, leaving as much usable vinyl as possible. As you can see on the bottom left loop of the R, my cut settings were a little bit deep and went through the backing. If this happens, reduce the amount of pressure for your next cut on the same material. Next, we're going to weed away the vinyl that's not part of the design. To do that, I'm going to lift up on this section on the right, and I'm going to purposely rip the vinyl so that I'm dealing with only one side of the design at a time. I'm following the curve of the design and doing another break in between the R and the O to prevent the sticky from falling back down on top of my design and lifting it. If it gets to be too much in your hands, simply break it off and start again. Now that we have that piece all weeded off, I'm going to bunch it up, sticky side facing out, and press it to the table. Then I'm going to come back in with my weeding pick and remove the centers of all the letters. This time I'm going to use a weeding ring. As I pick up each piece from the middle of the letters, I'm going to drop it in the center and pull my weeding tool to the side to make it release. There is one teeny tiny little piece in the curve of this R, so I'm going to use my weeding pick to lift that tiny piece. Then I want to cover up my mat for storage. When I have a new mat, before I use it, I like to put a piece of washi tape in the upper left-hand corner. This helps me know which side is the outside and which side is the back side that faces against the sticky surface. It looks like my mat may be in need of a little bit of cleaning. If you would like to see a video on how to clean a mat, drop a comment down below. Next, you'll need a piece of transfer tape. I am using Green Star Lay Flat Classic Transfer Tape, which comes in a 6-inch by 100-foot roll. You will just need a piece slightly larger than your design. To apply, create a U shape with the sticky side facing out. Drop it down in the center of your design and slowly lay it down center to right and then center to left, squeegeeing it in place, and then flip it over and squeegee from the back as well. Carefully peel your backing off at a 45-degree angle. If any of your design is sticking to the backing, simply lay it back down and squeegee some more until it releases easily. Next, determine where on your cup you want to place your design. I would like mine on the back opposite from the logo. I use my squeegee to stabilize the cup so that it doesn't roll on the table. Those handy little lines keep it steady while applying your vinyl and keeps you from having to use a fancy cup holder. I'm using the lip on the lid of my cup as my center point for lining up my decal. Then I'm going to hover my design over the cup, making sure it's centered with equal amounts of empty space on either side of the name. Because my logo is slanted, I don't want this to go on straight, so I'm using a slight slant to mimic my logo. Then squeegee over the surface very well before removing the transfer tape. Now peel it back at a 45-degree angle slowly, making sure nothing lifts as you remove the tape. Ah, I love it! The contrast of the coral with the turquoise is beautiful. I chose it to match the coral on the front side right above the logo. Now to decide whether I want to add a little bit of glitter and a layer of epoxy or resin. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Should we leave it as is or should we go glitz and glam? If you enjoyed this tutorial, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more crafting content, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a video. Until next time, now, go create what's possible.